Have you ever stopped to think why some people manage to build solid fortunes even when starting from absolute zero, while others seem stuck in debt, arrears, and uncertainty, never getting anywhere? It's not a matter of luck or inherited privileges, a matter of mindset, strategy, and discipline. I'm Andrew Carnegie, and today I'm going to show you how. Even if you're broke, behind, or lost, it's possible to earn your first million. And it's not a distant dream. It's a concrete path, a daily construction, a silent revolution within you. Imagine for a moment your life 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Imagine the financial stability, the freedom of choice, the respect you have earned, and the impact your prosperity can have not only on you, but on your family and your community. If you are willing to accept that it is time to take complete control of your destiny, then now is the time. The first million you aspire to is not just a sum of money, it is living proof that you have mastered yourself, your focus, and your strategy. I built an empire from humble beginnings, facing obstacles, doubts, and crises. And I learned that the secret lies in concentration, unwavering focus on a defined purpose, iron discipline to govern your emotions, and the courage to make difficult choices that few are willing to make. Those who cannot command themselves will never command businesses or men. That is the cornerstone of lasting wealth. Today, I will guide you on a mental and practical journey to understand how to reprogram your mind for prosperity, how to develop the emotional discipline that keeps you steady in the storms of life, and how to chart a clear and solid strategy to accumulate your first million even if circumstances seem unfavorable. But first, let me share a truth that many forget. True wealth is not about accumulating money for yourself. It is about transforming your life to generate real, lasting, and multiplying value. Have you ever heard the phrase, "The man who dies rich dies miserable"? I have proclaimed it not as a criticism of success, but as a warning of the responsibility that money brings. Wealth is not just a right, it is a moral duty. A billionaire without purpose is just a man with a lot of money and little legacy. Your first million must be built with a vision that goes beyond money. It's the foundation for the empire you will build to change your reality and the world around you. But let's be clear, this path is not for the faint of heart. I'm not here to offer illusory shortcuts or empty promises. This is a rigorous method, tested by history and experience, based on absolute efficiency, careful choice of allies, intelligent delegation, constant innovation, and continuous personal reinvention. It's a system you can apply today, regardless of where you are now. Let me be even more direct. What you need today is not luck, it is not magic. You need to master 3 essential areas: your mind, your emotions, and your strategic action. Master these, and money will follow as an inevitable consequence. First, your mindset. You must understand that your past does not define your future. Bankruptcy, setbacks, and losses are just circumstances, nothing more. I myself was born into a humble family, and I have often seen failure lurking around the corner, but I never allowed it to define me. Your mind is your wealth factory, and what you plant in it, you reap. If your mind is filled with doubts, fears, and limitations, don't expect your reality to be any different. Transformation begins with an unbreakable commitment. You will be the architect of your destiny. Second, emotional control. The journey to your first million is full of challenges, momentary failures, criticism, apparent losses. That's when self-control makes all the difference. An empire is not built amid emotional chaos. You must learn to govern your emotions with the same discipline with which you run your business. Mental coolness, strategic calm, and rational focus will be your most powerful weapons for weathering storms. Third, strategic action. Nothing replaces focused work, meticulous planning, and relentless execution. Solid, progressive growth, continuous investment in knowledge and technology, choosing partners and collaborators who raise your standards. All of this is essential for sustainable wealth. It's very easy to get lost in quick promises, but true success is for those who master the art of intelligent patience. Over the next few minutes, I will reveal the techniques I used to master the steel industry, turning my vision into an empire and my work into a legacy. But you should know, building your first million will be different from mine, because the world has changed. However, the fundamental principles remain unchanged. They are universal, timeless, and applicable to anyone willing to dedicate themselves with discipline and purpose. The promise I make to you is this: if you follow me with attention and action, no matter your current situation, your ability to rise, rebuild, and multiply your wealth will be limitless. Many have already undergone this transformation and today live lives of abundance and meaning. You can be next. Don't wait for miracles. Don't wait for money to fall from the sky. What you need is to take complete responsibility for your financial and emotional life. This requires courage to face your failures, learn from them, and move forward with determination. Real wealth comes from the sum of small daily acts, repeated with precision and consistency. And speaking of consistency, I want you to commit right now to becoming a person of unbeatable habits. Daily reading, weekly planning, self-control in financial decisions, choosing strategic partners, and constant dedication to your personal and professional growth are the building blocks of your ladder to success. By the end of this video, you will have the tools and mindset to start building your path to your first million right away. Most importantly, you will know how to maintain and multiply that wealth. Because true billionaires don't build fortunes for themselves, but to transform the society around them. Before we begin, let me say that this journey will be challenging, but it will also be the greatest adventure of your life. If you are ready for this transformation, to break out of the cycle of scarcity and enter the realm of abundance, then stay with me until the end. Your future is waiting to be written, and since we're talking about the future, I want you to prepare yourself for a profound change that goes far beyond the numbers in your bank account. This transformation begins in your mind, passes through your soul, and manifests itself in your daily actions. You are about to receive a code for success that will guide you for the rest of your life in a practical, concrete, and definitive way. If you want to continue receiving this kind of guidance that can change your life, stay connected. Here, you will find not only knowledge, but the mentoring that many who seek growth lack. I will be here as your mentor, guiding every step of the way. Now that we have established this connection and you understand the magnitude of what is to come, let's get started on the real work. Let's deconstruct the limiting beliefs that have kept you stuck until now, so that you can, with clarity and strength, build the first of many millions. Are you ready? Then come with me, and together we will transform your financial, emotional, and strategic reality. Because the success you seek starts here, starts now, and depends on a single decision: your willingness to change. When people ask me what the secret is to accumulating a million or tens of millions, I don't respond with magic formulas, but with a simple truth: wealth is the natural consequence of a man who masters himself, who governs his mind and his actions with the precision of a conductor directing his orchestra. And this is not a privilege of the rich. It is within the reach of anyone who, even if broken, behind, or lost, decides to take absolute control of their own destiny. You may be thinking, but Andrew, I've lost everything. I'm mired in debt, with no opportunities and no one to help me, and I respond, that's exactly why you're at the ideal starting point. The real beginning happens when you accept your current condition without guilt, but with a willingness to change. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Bankruptcy, debt, and financial setbacks are nothing more than steps on the ladder to success, as long as you choose to learn from them. I have seen entrepreneurs and leaders fall and rise stronger than ever. The biggest mistake you can make is to dwell on the past or blame the system. The system is what it is. What matters is your attitude toward it. If you don't govern yourself, the system will govern you. That's why the first brick in building your first million is emotional discipline. No matter how big the crisis, how deep you are, the difference between those who rise and those who get stuck is the ability to stay calm and act rationally. Anger, despair, and fear are enemies of productivity. They block your strategic thinking and fuel procrastination. You need to learn to master them, like a captain masters his ship in a storm. I always say, He who does not rule himself will never rule business or men. Self-control is the foundation of empire. This means controlling your mind so that it works for you, not against you. This is self-control. The ability to stand firm in the face of adversity and stay focused on what really matters, the solid and steady building of your wealth. Early in my career, when I founded my first companies in the steel industry, I faced resistance, betrayal, and economic crises that could easily have defeated me. But the difference was in my emotional control and clarity of purpose. I didn't let myself be carried away by passing emotions, nor was I distracted by quick and superficial gains. I knew that the secret was absolute focus on mastering my business and operational excellence. And here's a vital lesson for you: don't let your mind wander in multiple directions. The man who tries to conquer everything at once ends up conquering nothing. Focus is my motto: first, last, and always. Choose your battlefield, master it completely, and only then expand your horizons. At the same time, surround yourself with allies and talent who add to your vision, not complicate it. I learned early on that the secret to my success was to surround myself with men smarter than me. I didn't have time to deal with mediocrity or arrogance, only competence and results. So choose your partners, collaborators, and mentors with the same rigor you choose a diamond. Precision and real value. Another key piece to earning your first million is long-term vision. In the modern world, many are seduced by promises of quick money speculation, schemes, and illusory shortcuts. That doesn't build empires, it builds instability. True wealth is built on solid, progressive growth and continuous reinvestment. The profits you generate today must be reinvested to ensure market dominance tomorrow. Never allow momentary greed to cloud your strategic vision. Great fortunes are not born of haste, but of intelligent patience. Sustainable growth is slow, demanding, but unfailing. If you reinvest consistently, even small profits will turn into amazing fortunes over time. Furthermore, you must understand that knowledge is power, and power is the path to wealth. I am a voracious reader. I read daily, studying the greatest leaders, emerging technologies, and market movements. The man who does not read is doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. You must be a constant student of life, a tireless seeker of the new and the better. Investing in your own development is the safest asset you can acquire. Don't skimp on it. Courses, books, seminars, mentoring, every penny spent on knowledge returns, multiplied in opportunities and wisdom to act effectively. Now, you may ask yourself, what do I do, Andrew, if I don't have any startup capital? If I'm in debt and have no credit? The answer is simple, but challenging. Start small, start with what you have, but start now. Use what is within your reach to generate real value for others. Wealth is a game of value. Money follows the value you create. Don't wait until you have significant resources to take action. My journey began with small steps, selling newspapers, investing in knowledge, and forming smart partnerships. With time and discipline, those small steps became giant strides. And remember, don't be afraid of credit, as long as you use it wisely. I myself took out loans to expand my businesses when I knew exactly where every dollar would be spent. Other people's money, when managed well, is a powerful multiplier. Finally, don't underestimate the power of strategic philanthropy. Your first million isn't just for you, but to be a channel for social transformation. True wealth dignifies a person when they invest in the progress of their community, education, health, culture. That's the vision that turns money into a legacy. Be aware of your responsibility as a future millionaire. You must manage your wealth as a guardian, ensuring that it serves the greater good. This elevated vision is what gives meaning and purpose to wealth. Without it, money is empty. You are faced with a decisive choice: continue where you are, stuck in the cycle of scarcity, or take the first step toward true abundance with discipline, strategy, and a greater purpose. Transformation begins with a decision. Yours now is the time to act. Change your mindset, master your emotions, and create a clear and solid strategy. The first million is not a distant dream. It is a real destination for those who are willing to follow the right path, even if the beginning is difficult. Are you ready for this profound transformation? To break out of stagnation and build an empire of value, wealth, and purpose? The decision is yours. The time is now. Listen carefully. The path to your first million requires mental and strategic reconstruction, not overnight, but progressively, solidly, and relentlessly. The starting point is understanding that money does not come by chance. It is a direct consequence of the value you deliver to the market, your efficiency in executing, and your emotional mastery to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. When I started out, many people doubted me, called me a dreamer, a fool for believing that a poor kid could control the world's largest steel empire. But the truth is that it's not the starting point that defines your destination. It's the consistency of your effort and the clarity of your vision. This is a lesson I want you to take to heart. Never underestimate the power of daily, disciplined effort. Even if it seems too small now, you may be financially broken, emotionally exhausted, without support, but your greatest strength lies within you, in your mind, your self-control, and your decision to act with purpose. The mind is the only wealth factory that no one can take away from you, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. To get out of bankruptcy and start building real wealth, you must establish a clear and defined purpose. Without purpose, your efforts will be scattered, and you will get lost in distractions and false promises. What is your purpose? Why do you want your first million? Is it to provide security for your family? To start over with dignity? To leave a legacy? Define it precisely, right now. Because a poorly defined goal produces mediocre results. From that purpose, build your strategy. I never invest my time or money in something I don't fully understand. Deep knowledge is what separates the amateur from the master. Before taking any financial steps, you must study the market, the industry, and understand the risks and opportunities. This preparation reduces risk and maximizes the chance of success. Don't try to run before you learn to walk. In my businesses, the foundation was absolute operational competence. I did not accept mistakes or waste. Every process, every decision, was measured by its efficiency. Apply this today. You must be obsessed with efficiency. Every dollar, every minute, every effort must be channeled into concrete results. Even in the midst of financial crises, you can create positive cash flow. This requires creativity and discipline. Cut unnecessary expenses. Renegotiate debts, find small sources of immediate income, and reinvest everything with a focus on growth. Don't underestimate the power of small, continuous gains. They are the building blocks of your financial fortress. You also need to surround yourself with allies who raise your game. People who understand the money game, who have experience, and who are willing to collaborate. Loneliness on the journey is one of the greatest enemies of success. I surrounded myself with men who were smarter and more competent than me because I knew that alone I would never build an empire. Identify who can add to your growth and cultivate those relationships with seriousness and loyalty. Delegating is not a sign of weakness. It is the smartest way to multiply your impact. When you try to do everything yourself, efficiency plummets. Choose carefully who to trust, train those people, and maintain strategic oversight. A true leader knows when and how to delegate. Another crucial aspect is emotional control, especially when things get tough. Early in my career, I faced numerous economic crises, and most of my competitors faltered. I remained calm because I knew that controlling my emotions was what set great men apart. When the market crashes, opportunities increase for those with a cool head and a strategy. You must develop iron discipline to stay focused. Avoid distractions and act coolly in the face of adversity. This means eliminating limiting beliefs that undermine your confidence and replacing them with strong convictions based on action and reality. The path is not easy, nor should it be. Those who want easy money are bound to lose everything easily. True millionaires build their wealth on solid ground, with firm and sustainable foundations. Invest in your knowledge and personal development continuously. Read books, take courses, seek mentors, and always be learning. I believed that the most valuable wealth was applied knowledge. Those who do not read are doomed to be held hostage by ignorance, and ignorance is the greatest risk you can take. Also, apply the law of reinvesting profits. In the beginning, your profits should go entirely back into growth. This discipline can seem harsh, especially when the temptation to spend is great. But it is the only way to accelerate your path to $1 million. See failure as information, not defeat. Every mistake carries a valuable lesson. Analyze, learn, and adjust. Smart persistence is one of the greatest forces in wealth building. Don't rush to expand before you master your field. Rapid growth without a solid foundation is a sure path to ruin. Consolidate, master, then expand. And finally, don't forget strategic generosity. Wealth that stays only with you is poverty in disguise. Your mission as a future millionaire is to empower others, transform lives, and contribute to society. Money is a means, not an end. Your first million will be the result of the sum of these principles: absolute focus on purpose, emotional mastery, solid strategy, smart choice of allies, relentless efficiency, constant reinvestment, daily learning, and conscious generosity. Now, reflect with me. What is the next concrete step you can take today to begin this transformation? The answer lies in action. You have everything you need to be the next person to break barriers, overcome the crisis, and earn your first million, not by luck, but by merit, discipline, and vision. The journey is long, but the destination is grand. It's time for you to become the master of your financial destiny. The journey to earning your first million, even if you are broke, behind, or lost, begins, first and foremost, with recognizing that your greatest asset is not in a bank account, investments, or material possessions. Your greatest asset is yourself, your mind, your ability to take action and transform reality. It is this vision that will guide you from zero to the top, from crisis to empire. When I started out, I had no financial resources, but I had immense clarity about who I wanted to be and what I was willing to do to get there. That clarity became my light in the darkness, my map when all paths seemed closed. You also need that unwavering vision, a clear purpose, that moves you forward even when the world tries to push you back. Don't fall into the trap of believing that your past determines your future. Going bankrupt, falling behind on payments, missing opportunities, all of these can and should be used as fuel for your comeback. I myself have experienced drastic setbacks, but what made the difference was my decision to never let those setbacks define who I was. And here's a principle you should internalize: he who does not rule himself will never rule anything. Emotional discipline is not a luxury, it is a necessity for anyone who wants to build true and lasting wealth. This discipline is what separates the winners from the losers, the masters of their destiny from the eternal hostages of circumstance. Imagine that your mind is a factory. If you allow doubts, fears, and insecurities to enter, they pollute the environment and block production. If you take control by cultivating thoughts of faith, focus, and determination, your factory will produce incredible results. Self-control is the manager of that factory, and it must be strict but fair. The next step is to structure a clear strategy. Financial growth does not happen by chance or luck. It is the result of a solid plan, executed with discipline and intelligence. I did not start out dominating the steel market by chance. It was meticulous work, step by step, conquering one territory at a time, mastering each stage of the production chain. The same logic applies to you today. Choose your field of expertise, whether it's a specific niche, a product, or a service. Become the best in that field. Don't waste energy trying to be good at everything. Concentration is my motto. First, last, and always. Focus on absolute mastery of your space before thinking about expansion. But don't think you'll do it alone. I learned early on that the secret to my success was surrounding myself with minds brighter than my own. Don't be afraid to admit that you need help, that you don't know everything. Hire, invite, learn from those who know more. Build a winning team and know how to delegate intelligently, while maintaining strategic oversight. Delegating is essential to scaling results. A man who wants to build an empire needs to multiply his strength through others. This requires not only trust, but also rigor in choosing and demanding results. Don't be afraid to cut mediocrity early. Time wasted with the wrong people is a luxury you can't afford. As you build your business, don't lose sight of cost control and maximizing efficiency. Productivity is the measure of your competence. In my businesses, I never allowed waste. Every investment was calculated, every process reviewed. Operational efficiency is the gear that drives the wealth machine. At the same time, invest heavily in your personal growth, daily reading, the relentless pursuit of knowledge, and participation in courses and mentoring programs are the fuel of success. A man who does not read has no advantage over a man who cannot read. Your competitive edge will be the information you apply. You must also understand that money is a tool, not an end. True wealth has purpose and meaning. I believe that the mission of the wealthy is to use their fortune for the greater good, for social transformation. Your first million will be just the beginning of a journey that goes far beyond your bank balance. Thus, strategic philanthropy, helping others rise as you rise, is an essential part of building your legacy. Wealth without purpose is empty. Wealth with purpose is transformative power. Now, I ask you, what is your next concrete step? Transformation does not happen by magic, but by the sum of daily decisions, repeated with discipline and focus. Be disciplined with your time, your finances, your emotions. Avoid distractions, stay focused on what matters. A million does not come from sporadic effort, but from relentless consistency. And finally, remember, success is for those who are willing to pay the price. Are you ready to pay that price? 2. Take full responsibility for your financial and emotional life, to become a master of your destiny. If the answer is yes, then get ready, because the path we are about to walk together in the coming moments will require your best self, the disciplined, strategic, focused, and generous version of yourself. The journey begins now, and I will be here as your mentor, guiding every step of the way. Because the first million you so desire is just the beginning of the empire you are destined to build. All right. Now let's move on to the next step of this transformation, the moment when your mind ceases to be a battlefield of doubts and fears and becomes a relentless machine of creation and execution. You must understand that even when all seems lost, you have the absolute power to rebuild your empire from scratch. What makes the difference is not money, not external resources. It is your ability to act with clarity and discipline. Imagine the mind of a wealthy man. It is no different from yours, but what differs is his training and programming. He knows that failures are just data, information to adjust his course. He does not allow himself to be paralyzed by them. What you need is to adopt this mindset. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of learning. This mindset requires daily practice. Start with rituals that reinforce your confidence and focus. I have always believed that habit is the engine of success. Small, repeated actions add up to big results. Establish rituals that reinforce your purpose, whether it's daily reading, strategic meditation, or constantly reviewing your goals. By mastering your mind, you will be able to master your emotions. In the heat of financial battle, emotion is your greatest enemy if left unchecked. A billionaire leader does not act impulsively or react out of fear or anger. He evaluates, decides, and acts with strategic coolness. You must learn to recognize your emotional triggers, the things that cause you to lose focus, calm, and direction. When those moments come, take a deep breath, regain your center, and regain control. This constant practice transforms your mind into an impenetrable fortress. But mastering your mind and emotions is not enough if you don't have a clear and well-executed strategy. The second step in building your first million is to structure a solid plan based on your strengths and your defined purpose. You shouldn't waste energy trying to do several things at once. Focus on one area where you can become exceptional. In my case, it was steel. For you, it may be a specific niche, an innovative service, or a product with a clear competitive advantage. The secret lies in absolute concentration. Once you've chosen your field, study it thoroughly. Get to know every detail, every opportunity, every threat. Ignorance is the greatest risk an entrepreneur can take. Applied knowledge is multiplying power. Next, build a network of allies. No one builds an empire alone. Choose people who add value to your project, who have superior skills, who bring experience and talents that you don't have. Delegate intelligently, monitor rigorously, and promote those who deliver results. Don't be afraid to cut toxic relationships and mediocrity. Time is your most precious resource. Surround yourself with excellence, because you will become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Another vital aspect is reinvesting profits. In the beginning, your money should work for you, not for your immediate consumption. This requires sacrifice and discipline, but it accelerates the exponential growth of your wealth. Remember that solid growth is slow and requires patience and resilience. Avoid the temptation of easy money and illusory shortcuts. A true empire is built on a firm foundation, not on sandcastles. Finally, incorporate strategic philanthropy early on. Money that stays only with you is empty wealth. When you invest in your community, in education, culture, or health, you build a legacy that transcends generations. This noble vision is what separates millionaires from billionaires. The former accumulate for themselves, the latter build for many. Your first million should be an instrument of transformation, not an end in itself. Now that you understand the pillars of mindset, emotional discipline, and practical strategy, it's time to put it all into motion. Start today with small, consistent steps. Stay absolutely focused, and prepare to reap the rewards of your efforts. The road is long, but the destination is glorious. You have everything you need to earn your first million, and I'll be here to guide you on your journey. The transformation you seek to earn your first million, even if you're starting from scratch, feeling lost, or mired in debt, depends on one irrevocable decision. The decision to govern yourself, to take full responsibility for your mind, your emotions, your actions, and your destiny. You are not here by chance. Something inside you already knows that change is possible, that a fresh start is not only necessary but inevitable for those who want to prosper. And I am here to ensure that this transformation is within your reach, because the mindset and principles for wealth do not change over time, they are eternal. Life will test your discipline, your focus, and your determination at every turn. You will face doubts, fears, criticism, and apparent failures. But remember, gold is only revealed in the intense heat of pressure. Your ability to keep a cool head, a steady heart, and a clear vision is what will make all the difference. I have seen many men and women in impossible situations rise up to build solid and great empires. They had no resources left, but they had something that money cannot buy: unbreakable will and a clear purpose. That will is your engine, your daily fuel. Purpose is your map, your guide in difficult decisions. Together, they will be the force that drives every action, every choice, every effort. But will and purpose must be accompanied by strategic and disciplined action. Nothing replaces focused work, detailed planning, and consistent execution. You must live to build, and build to live. That is the virtuous cycle of wealth. Never let anxiety for quick results distract you from consistency. Millions accumulate in drops, not in storms. Intelligent patience is the greatest weapon of the empire builder. You also need to understand that your greatest wealth lies in your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who raise your standards, who share your purpose, who challenge you to be better. A brilliant mind can be overshadowed by weak company. Choose your allies wisely and carefully, and create an environment that inspires growth and excellence. At the same time, don't forget to reinvest your profits. The gains you have today should be used to build a bigger tomorrow. Reinvestment is the engine of scalability. Without it, your fortune will be nothing more than a passing bubble. And above all, embrace strategic philanthropy. Money accumulated for yourself is ephemeral wealth. Money invested to transform lives is an eternal legacy. Your first million should be the foundation for an empire of impact that transcends your lifetime and enriches generations. Finally, I want you to commit here and now, to never give up. The journey will be hard, but the price of giving up is eternal regret. The decision to persist, learn, adjust, and grow will make you the architect of your own wealth. Are you prepared to be that architect, to build your empire even when all seems lost? The answer is within you, and I know it is yes. Always remember, the man who dies rich dies disgraced. Your wealth should be used to elevate not only yourself, but the entire society around you. Your first million is just the beginning. The true legacy lies in the transformation you bring about, the lives you change, the impact you leave behind. Now, get up. Take ownership of your destiny. The wealth you desire is the result of the mindset you cultivate, the discipline you maintain, and the action you take. I am with you on this journey. The future awaits your decisive step. The moment is now. The time is now. Transform your life. Earn your first million, and with it, build the empire you were born to lead. If you enjoyed this exclusive mentoring and want to continue receiving powerful insights to build your wealth and leadership, subscribe to the channel and share this video with those who need to hear this message. True success multiplies when it is shared. Remember, the power to change is in your hands. Use it wisely, courageously, and generously. Until next time, when we will continue to uncover the secrets of the greatest empires and the most brilliant minds in history. You deserve more. Go and conquer it.